For more than 5 months, Arc Raider players have been lied to about the Queen and Matriarch's actual HP value. Depending on where you look, the numbers are all over the place, and to me they always felt like guesses. Some sources say the Queen has 21,000 HP, some say 22,000, 33,864, 34k or 35,000. And for the Matriarch, a lot of the sites just repeat that it has 35,000 HP, while on the other hand some YouTubers state that the Matriarch has less HP than the Queen. I have done almost 1 million damage to these two arcs, did a lot of guides on these two arcs, and I was quite sure that none of these numbers is correct. But to figure out the exact HP values, my friends and I had to do 30 plus test raids. It wasn't easy, but we finally got the answer. Both the Queen and the Matriarch have 23,000 HP. The only way to get the real answer is to use the Journey tab after extraction and count the damage there. You kill arc, extract and check how much damage you did to that arc. If nobody else touched it, the damage number is effectively the HP number. That works very well for smaller arc because you can rush them in a fresh spawn, kill them quickly and nobody else shot them. Then you can confirm that you are getting the same number for each clean kill. The problem with the Queen and the Matriarch is that you cannot just one-shot them and leave. As a solo you have to fight them for several minutes, and during that time other raiders show up, shoot the boss, strip leg armor for loot or try to kill you. The challenge was to kill them without anybody else firing at these large arcs. I first tried this with the Queen in friendly raids. I rushed her over and over again, usually with huge amount of wolfpack and rows of hullcracker ammo, trying to kill her as fast as possible before other players arrived. But it turned out to be almost impossible to get a perfect clean solo Queen. Other raiders would hear the fight, run over and either help kill her or just shoot the leg armor off for loot. Over more than 20 attempts, the highest clean looking number I got by myself was 22,797 damage. That already told me that 21k and 22k numbers were too low, but I also felt strongly that the real HP would be probably a round number. One inconvenience with the Journey tab is that it does not always combine all your damage into one line. Because the Queen and Matriarch move around so much, your damage often gets split between multiple journey locations, so you have to add these numbers up manually. One of my better early Queen attempts, the highest single journey point I got was 22,470 damage, but ran out of ammo. I also tried doing this in aggressive raids, thinking fewer random solos would rush the Queen. That did not solve it. Instead of players helping with the boss, I would get sneaked up and shot in the back while wearing 2000k kits, which was not exactly fun or sustainable. So in the end, the best solution was to test this in aggressive duo or trio raids with my friends and me watching each other's back. That way we could kill the Queen much faster and also make sure nobody else got to free hit her. That finally gave us the clean data we needed. On one good Queen run, where we got a fresh spawn, rushed her, kept eyes on the whole fight, and were almost certain nobody else had really damaged her, we added up the Journey tab and got 22,991 damage. At that point we were already basically convinced that the Queen had 23,000 HP and that the 9 missing damage was most likely because another player had clipped her once during the raid. But we tested again. On the next clear Queen run we got 23,002 damage. So why 23,002 and not exactly 23,000 damage? Because the Journey tab rounds damage. I tested that directly with the kettle. The kettle does 8.5 damage per shot. I shot a pop twice and the Journey tab correctly showed 70 total damage. But when I shot a bastion once, the Journey tab showed 9 damage, not 8.5, because it rounded the damage up. That matters for weapons like the Hullcracker and other that do not always land on full numbers. Put that together with the 22,991 and the 23,002 Queen run, and the conclusion is very clear: the Queen has 23,000 HP. After that we moved on to the Matriarch. This one was even harder to test properly. Not only does it have a shield, but it also spawns extra arc, which slows the kill and creates more chaos. We choose spaceport because you can zipline up the control tower, place barricades and shoot the Matriarch from decent safety. We did more than 10 Matriarch runs there together, and some of them other duos or trios had already started fighting it before we arrived, so we extracted right away. And others, they tried to third party us while we were focused on the boss. We even lost expensive kit twice because people ziplined up the tower and killed us while we were mid-fight focused on the Matriarch. Even so, we got several strong runs. One of the early good ones gave us 22,191 damage, and we had not seen anybody else seriously damage the Matriarch apart from one trio taking a few shots at the legs before we pushed them away. That already suggested that the Matriarch was probably also 23,000 HP. Then we got another much cleaner run. Fresh spawn, fast rush, constant line of sight on the Matriarch, only one player tagging it 2 or 3 times before we scared him off. When we added the journey tab from the run, we got 22,845 damage. At this point the conclusion was basically unavoidable. The Matriarch's HP is also 23,000. So why do so many sites still state completely different numbers, and why do some of them even claim 35,000 HP? Because all of them never actually tested to find the real HP. They seem to have copied each other, pulling guesses from old Reddit threads. A lot of these old estimates came from people counting how much ammo they used or how many wolf packs they teamed through, but that tells you almost nothing, because you can dump huge amount of ammo into armored parts and do 0 damage, or you can hit the core and do 50% extra damage. That kind of estimate is useless for real HP testing. I also saw people trying to estimate boss HP from tripons during weekly challenges. That method is decent but not ideal, because tripons are not a 1-to-1 damage counter. Sometimes you get less than 1 point per 1 damage, sometimes more, and the multiplier is vary depending on the trials and the arc. The only consistent source here is the journey tab, because it shows the actual damage you dealt to arc and it calculates the damage the same way for every arc in the game. So after all the testing, all the fate solo attempts, all the aggressive duos and trio runs, and all the manual journey tab counting in Excel, the answer is finally clear. Both the Queen and the Matriarch have 23,000 HP. I hope this ends a lot of the confusion. If you want more arc info and guides with unique arc kill methods based on doing countless tests, check out the rest of my channel.